Ten.
Stand by to take studio.
7, 6.
Stand by camera 1, mics 1 and 2.
3, 2, 1.
Take studio.
Good afternoon, MCHS, and welcome to another episode of MCTV News. I'm Eric Melnychuk, and beside me is my co-host, Aaron Thibault. Anyway, what's going on in today's episode?
3 reporters will be making their MCTV debuts this afternoon. Evan Charrois shows us the garden greens that are produced in the MCHS Urban Agriculture class. Carter Fingler puts you behind the cameras at MCTV, and Jamie Lesburg shows us the school's newest option course, yoga. But first, here's our top story.
On Friday, October 18th, thousands of Edmontonians converged on the Alberta legislative grounds to show their support for action on climate change. This was one of many climate strikes around the world that has been attended by Swedish teenage climate activist Greta Thunberg. MCTV reporter Anna Lesburg files this report.
On October 18th, thousands marched to the Alberta legislature grounds in Edmonton to protest for climate change action. Estimates for the turnout range from 4,000 to 10,000 people, including youth climate activist Greta Thunberg.
I would probably say because my parents are in the oil field industry, they're all trade workers, so this really affects them. They have a really biased opinion on what Greta's trying to do to their line of work, when really that's not it. Yes, it could be affected, but at the same time, without the earth, they don't have jobs, period.
It's just so there's so much scientific research, right? I don't understand why people aren't listening to it. There's no wealth on a dead planet, and everybody's so concerned about the money part of it, but it's what are we supposed to do when the planet's dying? I feel like I have no other option.
For some of Alberta's youth, climate change is a looming issue that directly affects their future. Many took the day off school to voice their concerns.
This is our generation, we have to grow up in the earth that we're destroying, essentially.
As I see it, we are the future generation who are going to be leading the future and leading everyone in front of us. And so, although we are not old, I'm not old enough to vote, but if we can come out and actually talk about what's important and have people listen, then this is the way to do it, because there's thousands of people who came here to explain why climate change is going to affect people in the future, affect me, affect my kids, everyone's kids.
There was also a number of counter-protesters present. A convoy from the organization United We Roll for Canada traveled from Red Deer to Edmonton, driving by the main rally to voice their support for Alberta's oil and gas industry. Despite conflicting views and some tension between the protesters, both groups were respectful and the rally was altogether peaceful.
Them to come out here and to sit and yell at a 16-year-old girl who's expressing what she believes, you need to find something better to do, because they have their own beliefs and we have ours, and this is our way of demonstrating it. Their way of demonstrating it should not be to act out against a 16-year-old girl.
It's just, there's so many little things we could do to be so much more sustainable, and there's no way that people could make money if the planet's dead.
With environment and climate change issues on the minds of our generation, the future of our planet is ours to decide. For MCTV News, Anna Lesburg reporting.
Just like everyone wanted, said absolutely nobody, winter is here and we're all excited. With the snow finally hitting us here in Morinville. The snow has not only affected the roads, but also crushed your last hope of summer outdoor activities. Here to tell us about it is our MCHS meteorologist, Piché.
Hey guys, it's me, and I'm going to be doing weather for you today. So let's just get right to it, shall we? So up in Iqaluit, we got mostly sunny with a bit of clouds at -12. We have some flurries with a lot of clouds at -5 with Yellowknife. Over at Whitehorse, all the way over there, it's a nice 0 with just clouds. Just clouds. For Vancouver, it's mostly sunny with a bit of clouds at 11, really nice. Mostly sunny and also some clouds as well in Regina at -9. Same sort of thing in Winnipeg with a -6. And let's move over to the eastern side. So now for Toronto, it's 2 degrees and we got ourselves a nice little bit of clouds there, but some sun as well. we got flurries at 2 degrees in Montreal. Halifax has got some rain at 5 degrees, and St. John's right over here has some of that stuff we've been seeing all over the place, which is some nice sun with a little bit of clouds at 4 degrees. So let's take a look at the provincial stuff, shall we? Now, we got -8 Fort Mac, which has got a bit of sun and snow as well. High level has just got some nice snow at -7. Grand Prairie has a sun and a bit of clouds at 4 degrees. Edmonton has the same sort of condition at 3 degrees instead. Red Deer's got that classic sun with a bit of clouds at -1. Jasper has only clouds at 3. Banff has a sun with a little bit of clouds at 2. Same with Calgary and Medicine Hat, who are respectively at 7 and -3. So now let's take a look at current conditions, shall we? Sunrise was at 7:45, and sunset will be at 4:49 tonight, and it's also looking really nice for a winter day. Let's take a look at the weekly forecast. And it's looking pretty nice other than Saturday and Sunday, which are having really low lows. Now I'll give it right back to you guys in the studio.
One of the staple option courses at MCHS for the last decade or so has been urban agriculture, which teaches students how to grow and utilize locally sourced foods. Reporter Evan Charrois shows us what it takes to have a green thumb in this course.
Morinville Community High School offers a program known as urban agriculture. In this program, you learn agriculture in an urban environment, as the name suggests. During this course, you learn the skills of the trade by planting, canning, butchering, and much more. When asked, what are you most excited for, students seemed very adamant about the field trips and learning skills that may be very beneficial to their future.
I'm most excited for probably the field trips. A lot of them you go out and see how stuff's made, like apple juice, you get to see how that's crushed, made, grown, the troubles that they have to go through to make it, and it really makes you appreciate the products when they get to you.
For the teacher of urban agriculture, Neil Kortash, learning where your food comes from and being able to analyze it is a necessity.
I think it's important that students know where their food comes from. I think it's important that they're able to analyze and evaluate some of the information we're getting about our food in the media and sort out different myths about our food and agricultural industry. And also just to be aware of careers that are available in the agricultural industry. You don't have to be a farmer to be in agriculture. There's all kinds of agri-foods processing and scientific opportunities in agriculture.
In this class, not only do you learn how to grow and prepare your food, you learn facts like where your food comes from and how it's prepared.
I feel like we're kind of moving away from organics and going to GMOs because they're more sustainable for the environment, they're more economically friendly, and that's kind of what we learn about here. So it's kind of interesting to know where your food comes from, how it's made, how it's produced, so you can kind of decide what you buy and what you eat and where it comes from.
Urban agriculture has always been a favorite for many students. If you are interested, please contact Neil Kortash. For MCTV News, Evan Charrois reporting.
You guys know him and you love him, but in the studio today we have actor, entrepreneur, and billionaire Chad Worthington. After so many of these pieces has been shown here, we reached out to his team of lawyers and producers, and we got him here on the show today. Thank you for joining us in the studio today. No problem. Thank you for having me. Anyway, the first question I have is, what does a normal day for you look like? A normal day for me? Well, other than the fact that I'm bloody stinking rich, I'd usually wake up from my 700 count bed sheets, my 7,000 count bed blankets, wake up for about a bowl of caviar in the morning, probably hop in the pool if I ever wanted to. A lot of fun stuff that I do like that. Is there, I understand you've been in a lot of movies pretty recently, fame slowly going further up and up, but do you have any interesting stories from a movie that you filmed that you'd like to share with us? Actually, I have this pretty interesting one. What happened one day is that back when I filmed Studio Madness, they had a scene of me and they wanted me to grab my mustache and tear it off right there. It was a one-take thing. It went really well, but I actually had to stop filming for like 3 weeks because it was just that painful. It hurt so bad. But I think Studio Madness turned out pretty good. It was one of the short movies I actually did with Charlie, so I'm quite proud of that one. Has ever having this much fame ever affected like your other parts of your life, like simply walking outside on the street? Actually, it has, other than my 2 bodyguards over there that are currently making sure no fans come up, because I have had very aggressive fans around my days of fame. But actually right now there's a few people outside the door just watching us as we're doing this. So on the topic, seeing as you are an entrepreneur, you have your company, Chad Worthington Emporium, but is there anything new you guys are working on at the moment? Any new products you'd like to share about? The thing with some of our products is some of the science behind it takes a lot of work to do. So with that, we're currently working on a new one. It's based off of something we actually saw in a cartoon. And I went to my science, I threw $1 million at him and said, do it. So that was actually, so we're working on something very, very high tech for pretty recently. I can't give too much about it right now because my lawyers will get mad at me. But you should be looking forward to a very new product from Chad Worthington Emporium. So our team in the back actually got word that you are currently starring in a new movie. Would you like to share some stuff about that? Yes, actually. I am actually starring in the 2019 making of Charlie Chaplin's The Gold Rush. I play the main character. If you haven't seen The Gold Rush, it's about like the main character Charlie Chaplin, or now it's me, with his friend. They found a mountain of gold, but with that they get lost in a mountain. It's a lot of fun, but I can't give too much away because once again, my lawyers will get mad at me. In fact, they're the reason why I'm here. We understand one of your business partners was Charlie Arbuckle back in the day. Are you two still in contact, or have you guys split up, or what's going on with you two? Me and Charlie are actually doing pretty good. He's a little separated from me now, mainly because after he did his commercial for Charlie Chairs, he actually got a lot of sales on it. It's decent chairs for really cheap price, and I'm quite proud of him. So right now he's actually doing adverts in Dubai. So he's out down there, but he's actually going to be down there for a little bit. So I don't know if there's going to be much new from us, but still the old adventures, but we keep in touch. And just the last question, is there anything else you'd like to say? There are a couple of things I'd like to say. First off, this room smells like BO. There is someone in here who just stinks. Probably one of the camera operators and the guy that keeps shaking over there. It's driving me absolutely nuts. Probably should get maybe a little better budget in here as well. Oh, mic's on. Sorry about that. Nothing new from us, except for one quick thing. We actually bought out the rights to the Odyssey hat and Kachow. However, Kachow we have to take off the shelves due to its very high energy levels, to the point where if you drank 2, you got a heart attack. We don't want that. So we have to take that off the shelves. We're actually going to be trying a new type of Kachow that's more flavor than it is energy, and we're quite excited. Who needs deodorant back there, honestly? Well, thank you for joining us in the studio today, actually. Yeah, no problem. Honestly, the only reason why I'm here is because my lawyer said you guys air way too much of the stuff that I do, so they said I needed some recognition. In the studio, there's actually a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that not a lot of people here know about. And I'm done. Reporter Carter Fingler actually went around during a few of our broadcasts and set up a behind-the-scenes camera to show you what happens behind the cameras and behind the walls of the MCTV studio. Let's take a look.
MCTV is a course about shooting and editing video. In this, students can learn new life skills like how to operate a camera, host a show, and even how to talk about the weather. It is a different course than the rest, and it's not just a course that you're told what to do every day. It is a by-yourself course. Just make sure that you get your work done.
One of them is about working with a team, responsibility for getting your job done, because you commit to doing a piece or a story for the show, or you commit to doing a job. That means that job has to be seen through in order for the show to actually go to air every week. So I think from that perspective, it's a very unique opportunity for kids to work together as a team.
Lots of post-secondary schools know about this course, but we are very well known to the NAPE program because they have just recently donated us a brand new set. In the new school year, the grade 9s have joined our MCTV course. They are hoping to be shooting with our cameras and hosting the shows.
Yes, by far. It's a fun class. The only piece of paper you get is the course outline, maybe some, things to plan out skits, and that's honestly about it.
Running the ship of MCTV is Mr. Greg Bautestein. He's been running the class for 26 seasons since 1995. Some may wonder how he started in the first place.
When I first started working here at a university, they hired me because they needed someone to run the television studio that was here, and there wasn't really a teacher that could do it. They luckily, I guess, found me. I guess luckily for me, they found me. I had a background in television production before I went into education. So I had that background in television. I took radio and television arts at NAIT, and then I got my education degree afterwards. So it seemed like it was a good fit.
There are only very few courses like this in Alberta. If you would like to join, talk to our grade coordinator at MCHS. For MCTV News, Carter Fingler reporting.
Welcome back. Here to give us a look at the latest scores in the NHL and NBA is our very own sports analyst, A.M. Dowhan.
Thanks, Eric. In the NHL, the St. Louis Blues took over first spot in the Western Conference with a convincing 5-2 win over the Edmonton Oilers. And in New York, the Rangers made short work of the Red Wings with a 5-1 win. Turning to the NBA, the Raptors beat the Kings 124-120. The Bucks were victorious over the Clippers with 129-124. Utah edged Philadelphia 106-104, while Memphis ran up the scoreboard on Minnesota 137-121. And the Rockets pounded the Warriors 129-112. Up next, last month MCHS hosted the 25th annual Western Canadian Challenge. Senior volleyball teams from across the region came out to play in this extremely competitive tournament. And our very own reporter, Davina Bolen, was there. She files this report.
One of the biggest volleyball tournaments during the season is the Western Canadian Challenge. Teams from across Alberta come to compete in this annual tournament hosted by Morinville Community High School. While this is the 25th year for the WCC, many teams strive to win, but also encourage the importance of being a team.
I really like to just tell them that, it's just a game. It's never going to be life or death, and that if you just focus on what you're there to do, then everything will be fine, win or lose.
Just working together and staying calm, because if you play stressed out, you don't play very well.
Knowing that there is a lot of pressure when competing in a volleyball tournament such as the WCC, at times it can be overwhelming. Captains and coaches explain how certain attitudes can impact a team on the court.
As a captain, I think that it's really important to stay positive on the court, and even sometimes when you're losing, it can be really tough to, get out of it. So I think that for me, I just want to focus on really remaining positive at all times.
Probably negative attitudes, because people do get really down on themselves and they impact the team.
While attitudes impact the way each player plays, it's important to remember why teams are there. The WCC offers many opportunities and learning experiences, which is a common factor in competing.
Always, obviously, to win, but just to kind of have a good time, just there to have fun. And even if we're not winning, if we're just playing good and, communicating, having a good time with all my good volleyball friends.
Having fun and making memories on the court is a fundamental aspect when playing any sport. As for each team in the WCC, having a few goals will definitely give them the edge they need to enjoy their time on the court.
Working together as a unit, because a unit works effectively.
The WCC was a huge success, and while there may have been some disappointing times, each team continued to fight till the end. Most likely next year, the WCC will continue to be an annual hit among the Alberta community. For MCTV News, Davina Bolen reporting.
Here are your school announcements for Thursday, November 7th. The first annual Morinville Community High School fall break begins this Saturday, November 9th. Classes resume on Monday, November 18th. Enjoy a well-deserved week off, MCHS. Once we're back from the fall break, be sure to take part in the ELAA's post-secondary event on Wednesday, November 20th at the MCCC from 1 to 3 p.m. Students will have a chance to talk one-on-one with the recruiters from various local post-secondary institutes, such as University of Alberta, NAIT, MacEwan University, and many more. For these and all other school information, keep connected by listening to the daily announcements in Block 2, logging on the school's website at www.mchs.gsacred.ab.ca, or by following the school on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. As well, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching MCTV Morinville. I'm out.
A new option class is being offered this year at MCHS is yoga. Under the leadership of teacher Tara Chopo, students learn the basics of this meditative art form. Reporter Jamie Lesburg has a chance to talk to Mr. Chopo and several students talking about the course.
Since the start of the 2019 MCHS school year, the new yoga class has been going strong with 31 students enrolled.
I took yoga personally so I could work on my flexibility to help myself mentally and with physical strength and being able to relax and enjoy a time of day that I can't normally take out of my personal life.
For students, yoga can be the best part of their day. It provides an opportunity for students to relax and rest after a long day of hard work.
It's pretty loose, but it's still fun being there.
It's pretty laid back and easy.
I think so far it's been pretty calm. There's a couple of, laughter, because, sometimes things happen and it's funny. But generally it's really nice and calm.
The stress level of this class is next to nothing compared to academic courses because of the laid-back atmosphere, even if students still have a certain level of responsibility.
I think yoga is really important for people to learn how to do for just well-being, learning how to relax and move your body in a way that can really help over the years.
Students have been learning techniques such as guided meditation and sun salutation, and poses such as the cobra pose and the corpse pose. For some students, this isn't their first time in a class like this.
Yeah, I do yoga sometimes at a studio in Morinville.
I did one in hockey for Edmonton, and it was more professional, but I like this more.
When you go to a studio, it's a lot more intense.
As well as doing physical yoga poses, students do written work, such as yoga history, human anatomy specific to yoga, and philosophy. Pose names in an ancient Indian language used for yoga called Sanskrit also must be learned.
I enjoy the relaxing part. Like, we get to just lay there and just breathe and think about things, and that part's pretty good.
Hanging out with the boys in the back of the class.
Sleeping at the end of class.
In about a 60-minute practice, students can complete up to 25 different poses of regular yoga, Nidra guided meditation, or yin yoga.
You just gotta be there and just be ready to push your boundaries.
If you would like to learn more about the yoga class, you can talk to Mrs. Richobo. For MCTV News, Jamie Lesburg reporting.
And that's it for another episode of MCTV News. Due to the fall break, we won't be on air next week, but join us for our regular scheduled Thursday broadcast on November 21st, when Skylar Bosno brings us a look at the MCHS Remembrance Day ceremony. Liam Weeks gives us the highlights from the school's Halloween event, and my co-host takes us behind the scenes in the iLearn area. And finally, I will bring you episode 2 of Morinville's favorite game show, Categories. All this, plus sports and your 7-day weather forecast on Thursday, November 21st. So last night I was actually at the award show. Were you there? Did you get anything?
Oh yeah, I was there and I got honors. How about you?
I actually got the broadcasting award here, and I got to point out how many other people around the class actually got so many awards. But something we should probably do is thank all the sponsors who probably helped there. All right. From all of us at MCTV News, I'm Eric Melnychuk.
And I'm Erin Thibault. Thanks for tuning in.